Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Bust Up Boys. I'm Zach,
And I'm Zahran.
and today's our summer blockbuster episode, which we've been hyping up for like half the year, but it's finally here. So we're
You
super
know,
excited. Yeah.
you know what? It's now October. Usually we are going by what Box Office Mojo said, which is April through September. And so we're keeping it that way. And so, yeah, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, we were thinking about doing like give us your top 10 blockbusters of the year. But then we realized it'd be a lot more fun if we came up with some categories and decided to award movies that way. So that's what we're going to do. We have like I think 8 categories, and we're just going back and forth and make our give some hot takes and give out some rewards to these movies.
Hell yeah. So, do you want me to start it off?
Let's do it.
All right. So, the first category I have is Best Original Movie. Zach, you want to give it away?
Yeah. So my favorite original movie. It's pretty close. So you could include Civil War in like the summer blockbusters. And like I think I do. Like you said, it's like April to September. But I want to give it to Monkey Man. So Monkey Man, Dev Patel's like original movie, kind of like put a little shine on it before it came to like American theaters. It didn't do that great at the box office, I now realize. But and it wasn't perfect the whole way through, but you can kind of see like someone trying to do something original. I mean, it has a lot of John Wick, but it's also like a new setting and it's just like a new movie maker. So I was kind of curious about it, and I think there's cool stuff to see. And so that's my favorite original. And then for runners up, I have Challengers and Civil War. What about you?
I also have Monkey Man
Okay,
as
nice.
my best original.
We're the same person. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll say, like, I think this was like the Dev Patel show. He was the actor, he was
Yeah.
the director, and I think he nailed it. I think his like performance was one of a kind, and he was very raw with his emotions. And the cinematography was great. It was very unique. The action was
Yeah.
very brutal, very raw. Felt like, and like one of the biggest things I felt like was like it made India a character in the movie. Like you could
Yep.
truly feel the culture from the movie. I think you pointed it out during our weekly show that you've been in India and you felt that familiarity when you're like watching the movie. So yeah, I think for his like first primary um, what do you call it? First primary directorial debut. I think he nailed it. I hope he has continuing success, which without a doubt we'll see. And you know what? Like, also one more thing is like, it's marketed as like an action movie from like the commercials and everything, but it really tackled like the social, the economic issues that India's facing. So I really appreciated that, and yeah, I think you nailed it there. And glad to see both of us have that as our best original movie. Should I
And,
do
like, looking
a?
back at the
Oh,
summer, real quick, I'll just add, like, this one felt the most different. Like, looking back on
yes.
movies, like, a lot of movies or sequels or even a not sequel that kind of fit, like, a certain, like, frame of movie, but this one, like I said, it was kind of picking around from some social commentary, some action as well, in a new setting with a new director, so, yeah, I have to give it the best original.
Yep, love it. I will say if you got because we already mentioned Monkey Man, my runner up was actually one movie that we also did watch together, Long Legs.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Yeah. And as you know, I'm like a huge horror like movie nerd. So I really appreciate like the atmosphere and like the style of like cinema that he did with I forgot who the director's name is. Was it like not Frank Oz? Oz something.
Mhm.
Um Oz Perkins, I believe. Like just that psychological tension that you bring in is so nice, and like that plus Nicolas Cage's performance was also pretty insane.
Really
I
freaky.
didn't know, yeah, I didn't know that was Nicolas Cage until you pointed it out. I think after the movie or whenever the end credits came out, and I was like, "Oh shoot, that was Nicolas Cage the entire time." But like him playing the satanic serial killer was crazy menacing, and I'm still disappointed to this day that I missed the opening scene because everyone I talk to or
You missed
everything
out.
online I see says that opening scene is like the scariest thing they've seen in theaters in quite some time. So, yep. big runners up for Long Legs on my end.
Very cool. Yeah,
And
I'm not as big into horror. I remember we watched Midsummer together a couple years ago, and you dragged me to go see that.
yeah, yeah.
It wasn't like my choice, but yeah, Long List was dope. That was like a cool experience, and it did really well at the box office. I didn't realize. We'll talk about it later, but I didn't realize how well it did. So I'm glad we
Yeah,
saw that.
yeah. I think one thing I've seen over this year and over past few years is like if you want to make a very safe bet to get a return on investment for your movie, make it a horror. Like if you make it an above average
Yeah.
horror, people are going to go see it, especially in theaters because I think horror movies is something you kind of like to be scared more or to be more filled with tension and suspense. If you watch it in theaters where it's like all dark, no one's talking, you're just focusing on the screen, that is what makes like a horror movie for me personally. So yeah, I'll segue to something completely different. Biggest laughs. What was your biggest laughs for the year in a movie for the year?
Yeah, for Summer Blockbusters, I gotta give it to Wolverine versus Deadpool. That whole movie, the whole way, I was just like laughing, kicking, screaming in my seat. I listened to a podcast, and the podcaster critic was like, "Oh, I didn't laugh at all in this movie," and I was like, "Are you crazy? This movie was hilarious. There's so many funny scenes." Um, whether it's like them like fighting each other like in a van to death or taking out like the thousand other like Deadpool clones from other universes. There's just like so many fun and funny scenes in this movie that I definitely have to give that the biggest laugh.
I also have Deadpool and Wolverine as my
Okay.
biggest laugh. Yeah,
Maybe we
like I
should
mean,
bet on how many like movies we'd agree on or disagree on
yeah.
beforehand.
It's all good. I think it also kind of like puts a statement on like, yeah, like this was a funny movie and you know what?
Yeah.
Monkey Man was a great original movie at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Deadpool and Wolverine, I think what what that movie was like I realize it's not the best movie, traditional movie like where it's like, oh, this plot wasn't great or the story was very generic and whatnot and like there's a lot of people who are annoyed by the pacing and like the overall plot structure, but at the end of the day this was a bunch of funny skits put together with like a very thin plot, but I loved every single second of it and I laughed at every single moment of it. From like, what was it, Bye 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 from the very beginning to I think it was like when you call like when they're have the songs and
The Madonna
everything.
song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the Madonna song. So yeah, 100% agree. I guess I'll give you my runner up for that too. I don't even know. Fall Guy. Fall Guy was a really funny movie. And I think the major reason why is because of Ryan Gosling. I think he has that very dry humor that I really appreciate. Very sarcastic, very witty, and him and his chemistry with Emily Blunt, who is also a very underrated comedic actress.
Yeah.
I feel like both of them absolutely nailed it. They just like riff on top of each other like very well. So yeah, and the script was on point for that as well. So yeah, that's my biggest laugh. You want to introduce
Should we
us to the
jump
next
really
category?
quick to biggest FOMO? I was gonna have the Fall Guy. That was one where
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
at the time I didn't think I needed that movie. I'm like, okay, rom com action movie with Ryan Gosling and Blonde, like whatever, I don't need it. But looking back, like given like the slate we got, like I kind of regret not seeing the Fall Guy. So that was like a top FOMO for me. And then also going back to horror, I didn't see Trap, which is M Night Shyamalan's movie, and I kind of want to see it. It's maybe not like as essential as Fall Guy to me, but it's a pretty close second. So I'd say Trap and the Fall Guy were the two ones I missed out on. What about you?
Yeah, I also missed out on Trap myself. And I
Yeah,
think it's because like there was just a very bad word of mouth after the movie came out. And I know M. Night
yeah,
Shyamalan
you're
movies
right.
are very divisive, but this one was like it just felt like overwhelmingly negative. Like even
Yeah,
fans of M. Night Shyamalan were also just like they were not big fans of it, which is very disappointing because who's the lead actor? It was from like Pearl Harbor and Pearl Harbor is such a weird movie to bring up for
he's
him.
in the Bear as well.
Oh, he's in The Bear? Oh no way! I had no
He's
idea.
he's crap Um, second in command at the bear. What's his name? Um, him and Carmi are always yelling at each other.
No, no, no. I think no, no, no. For what? For Trap?
No, no, no. So that character who's always yelling at
Oh,
Carmi,
he's in
he
Trap. He's in Trap.
or no, no,
Is
no,
what
no.
you're saying.
His ex-wife's new husband is the guy from Trap. That's like a really long
Oh,
chain,
oh my
but
god. Okay, okay, okay.
he is in the bear in season 3. This latest season.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
that's the only place I know him from. It sounds like you know him from other places too.
He was like back in the early 2000s. He was like someone who was like a very up and coming actor, like heartthrob that
Josh
people love.
Hartnett.
Josh Hart, yeah, yeah, Josh Hartnett, yeah. So he was
Yeah.
very like very well known for being like a heartthrob actor, but then he kind of dropped off, and then he's coming back now. He was in Oppenheimer recently.
Yeah,
Um,
who is he in Oppenheimer?
he was the professor. He was one of the professors who worked
Oh,
with
I see. Yeah.
Oppie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like to see his like kind of renaissance, and hopefully Trap doesn't discourage it too much. But yeah, I think for me, my
Cool.
biggest FOMO was not watching Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yeah, that's ooh.
I was a huge
Because
fan of
I
the original
yeah.
trilogy, not original trilogy, the Matt Reeves trilogy. I would say. Yeah, what were you saying? My bad.
Yeah, no, no, no worries. Yeah, that's a really good one. I really liked the world building in that movie.
Oh, so you did watch it.
Um,
You did watch it.
yeah, yeah. So, um, it's a run up for another category for me. So, like, I'll make reference to it later. But I actually enjoy the world building of it. They have like humans in this movie. Some of them can talk, some of them don't. So, like, you're immediately curious. There's some characters that hark back to the Matt Reeves trilogy. So you're wondering, oh, could those characters be like descendants of the characters we saw fighting Caesar and others? And there's some like interesting Reddit theories about that. And it's wrapped up in like a pretty good action movie, and the ending, like they kind of allude to a sequel, which is
Mhm.
fine, but like you're interested in what happens. Like, oh, like the humans are here, and there's going to be another war between the humans and the apes. So yeah, I like that movie. I think you gotta see it at some point. It's a good
I
one.
can't wait. Yeah, I will definitely watch
Yeah,
it. I think for me, I don't know why. I think there was just like 1 month where I just didn't go watch movies, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes kind of fell in it. And like I was a huge fan of the Matt Reeves trilogy.
yeah,
So, especially I know a lot of people did not like War of the Planet of the Apes because of the name. Oh, did you hear about this fun thing where they say that each of the Matt Reeves trilogy titles should have been switched? Like the first movie should have been
yeah.
called Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
That's right.
Sequel is War of the Planet of the Apes, and then the last movie should have been Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which makes a lot of sense if
That
you
makes a
think
lot more
about it.
sense than like whatever it was actually called.
Yeah, I think a big disappointment for it was that the third movie was called War of the Planet of the Apes, and it wasn't really much. I think it was just like the first
Yeah,
spoilers, first 10 minutes. Spoilers for a almost 10-year-old movie, but
right.
the first 10 minutes of the movie was just very was the war, and then everything else was like kind of a after effect of it. um but yeah, that's basically my biggest FOMO. I think I would say second, but I did watch it at the end of the day, but I'm very disappointed I didn't watch it in theaters, was
Hmm.
um what's the name of the movie, the Quiet Place Day One.
Oh,
Yeah, I really wish I
yeah,
watched that in
that's a really good
theaters.
one.
Yeah. I watched it at
Yeah.
home, but, like, I feel like with the sound and, like, just having that big spectacle, that's a movie you should have watched in theaters, or I should have watched in theaters. So, yeah, that's my runner up there.
Yeah, well, this is a good segue. Did we do Biggest Surprise yet? I don't think we did, right?
Nope.
Okay, yeah. So the two movies we just talked about, Quiet Place Day One and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, were my two biggest surprises. The really big one was Quiet Place, though, because I think I talked about it in a past podcast, but I saw the trailers. I thought it was going to be terrible. I'm like, there's no way this is going to be a good movie. This is a cash grab, or it's just going to be a lot of CGI. But actually, there's like a real story here, and it takes place in New York City. And there is a lot of action. There's a lot of jump scares, and they have that in the movie. They don't cheat you out of it, but there's also like a heart to this movie that I wasn't expecting. So that for me was a huge surprise. And yeah, we'll be talking more about this movie in this podcast.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. Sounds about right. I think that
Yeah.
movie is, like, elevated even more for us just as, like, New Yorkers. Like, "Oh,
Right.
wow, like,
Made
they're
us
moving
more.
uptown, like, they're going to Harlem." It's
Yeah,
great.
they have a favorite pizza spots, like me too.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, when she was saying, like, "It's not we need to get, pizza from the city. We're getting pizza from the city, right?" Like, and it's so true. Like, it makes a huge,
Yeah.
huge difference. So, yeah, my biggest surprise I would say I'm just going through my list. I wasn't actually able to. Oh, Beetlejuice. Very late surprise. Still falls in
Okay.
September, so I'm counting it. But I
Okay.
thought I thought it was just gonna be another one of those like Ghostbuster movies where it's just like just a homage to like the past and like not really its own story. But I really love the way and also because just the what's his name? What's the director's name
Michael
again?
Caine.
Why am I
Oh, Tim Burton.
Tim Burton, yeah,
Yeah.
he's very hit or miss, like, extremely hit or miss,
Very.
especially recently. So, I was very shocked to see how much I was enjoying it, how much I was laughing through the movie, and I really liked, Jenna Ortega's performance and the mother. Why am I forgetting her name too? Stranger Things. Winona Ryder. I thought her
Yeah.
and Winona Ryder, like their chemistry was great, and their mother daughter relationship really came out. And then the mom from Home Alone, Catherine O'Hara, was also absolutely hilarious. Like I think she stole this show whenever she was on this, like whenever she was on scene. So all three of them, I think that was like a triple, actress like performance that really nailed it and really elevated that movie for me to be like very surprised. I thought I was going in and like, "Oh, all right, I guess we'll watch Beetlejuice 2 again." Like Michael Keaton was great, but I mean, those three I think did an even better performance through the movie.
Wow, if that's still in movie theaters next week, I'm gonna go watch it. This is like the push in the back I needed. So I would add that to my FOMO list. Because yeah, Tim Burton basically he had a lot of good movies in like the 90s and 80s, and then post 2000, it's been like kind of whatever, honestly. So I think it's kind of smart. He's going back to what he knows he did really well, and it sounds like he did a really good job with it. So I would love to see that. So
Yeah,
yeah, put
absolutely
that on
great
my
job.
FOMO. Yeah,
I would say like it's not even FOMO because I think if you watch it now, it's the perfect time because it's such a great
that's a good point.
Halloween movie,
That's a
like
good point.
October movie. I'm shocked it came out so early in September. I think it came out before Labor Day or it came out during Labor Day. I was like, why didn't you wait a month? I feel like, I mean, the movie was a success, so I shouldn't complain too much. But like, I feel like this is a great October movie to, really get people out and get the spooks going and stuff. It's not really scary. It's more of a comedy, but still.
Yeah, well, we're not going to talk a ton about it, I think, in this podcast, but yeah, they should have released later because Joker ended up not doing that great in terms of word of mouth. So, Beetlejuice would have been a nice pick me up for Halloween.
Sneak preview for next week, guys.
Right. Oof,
All right.
Joker.
So that was the biggest surprise. You want to go for the opposite, biggest letdown?
Yeah, speaking of Joker. So, yeah, I have like the biggest letdown. It's like pretty obvious, so I have some like more interesting runner ups. Biggest letdown for me was Furiosa. This was supposed to be maybe like the best movie of the year, and it totally missed that mark. Now, what I will say, and I mentioned this in our summer one of our summer weekly updates, was I really liked watching Furiosa and then rewatching Fury Road, because in Fury Road they make a lot of like references that Furiosa like actually fleshes out, like in Fury Road, they'd be like, "Oh, like we gotta go to the build factory and get this thing," and then I'm like, "Oh yeah." In Furiosa, they explained like what the build factory is and like where it is, and they explained, "Oh, this other guy, he's the brother, and this is like the bank teller guy," and they kind of explain it in kind of like a dumb kind of way, which makes the movie bad. But then you go into Fury Road and you know who everyone is, and then you can really enjoy that movie. So that's like the silver lining. That's like the more generous way to interpret Furiosa. It's a good prequel for Fury Road, but just by itself, it just like what's a total whiff in my opinion. And then for runner ups, I had Ghostbusters in there. I want to like this franchise. It takes place in New York City. It looks kind of fun. It looks like kind of like Beetlejuice a little bit,
Mhm.
but and they have like the Stranger Things kid. Like Winona Ryder's son is in this movie for Ghostbusters, but it just sucks. So didn't see it. Looks like it was pretty bad, so probably won't see it. And then also I'll tack on Fly Me to the Moon. That is the Channing Tatum, Scarlett Johansson movie.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so I don't think it was bad, but like I wanted that movie to be really good, like be like a best picture contender. I really love those smart Hollywood films that do really well. But it didn't quite meet that mark, so I'll put that as a letdown runner up.
Oh, wow, okay. I want so what's funny is that I was between Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes for my biggest, FOMO and Furiosa. I feel like those 2 movies I really wish I watched in theaters. But now
Yeah.
after hearing your Furiosa thing, and I think you did mention it's one of the summer blockbuster previews that, like, you were kinda disappointed in it, but I didn't realize it was that bad where it's the biggest disappointment of the year for you.
I think looking back, I think the problem is just like the expectations were best movie of the year, and
Mm.
like it was just not that at all.
Did you watch Fury Road before you watched Furiosa?
Yeah, so like just to repeat some things I mentioned in the weekly update. Yeah, I had seen Fury Road not in theaters, but like at a friend's house or something. I thought it was
Mhm.
okay. I was like, oh yeah, this movie is like fine. Had some cool special effects. I'm not sure why everyone's so crazy about it. But after watching Furiosa and then rewatching Fury Road, now it's like up there with The Matrix like in my list for like really good sci-fi fantasy films. So yeah, I really liked it after watching Furiosa.
Wow, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Good to know, good to know. I think I might do a back to back on those if I have the
that's
patience.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Um so my top letdown is I don't even know if it's a letdown because my expectations weren't even that high for the movie, but it had good reviews, so I was like, "You know what? Maybe it will maybe I had better expectations because I was like, "Oh wow, this actually has very decent reviews." But for me, my top letdown was It Ends With Us. And
Okay.
yeah, I mean, we've had multiple discussions about this movie, but it's weird how like the visions like collided with each other. You could tell there's two different movies in this movie, and if you followed the behind the scenes drama, which if you listen to a previous weekly update, you would have heard.
Check it out. Special guest.
Check it out. Yeah, with a special guest as well. So, there is the first half, which is really good. I think Justin Baldoni is a great actor and he's a great up and coming director. Maybe not at the level that Dev Patel is, but you could
Yep.
see he has a vision and you could see he's executing that vision very well. Um, but then, like the second half of the movie, it feels like the whole vision just changes and it's so abrupt that it just kind of took me out of the movie. And if you follow the drama behind the scenes, it sounds like Blake Lively kind of interfered and changed a few of the endings and everything like that. So kind of makes sense. So I'm a little disappointed because I actually held Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds to a very high regard. But after hearing this behind scenes drama, my you know my view of them actually kind of deteriorated a bit because now I apparently also not to bring recent drama into this. Ryan Reynolds is trying to buy out Justin Baldoni from like the It Ends With Us franchise.
Oh, I had no
Um,
idea. This is
yeah, so
fascinating.
like it can have their own vision, and I feel like that's getting rid of like the best part of the entire movie was him, like his performance, his direction was what made it what good. But that second half was just so disappointing that it puts it into my top letdown of the year or of the summer blockbusters.
Yeah, I feel like in that movie, for me at least, in the second half, I feel like the movie was like, oh, we have to be a tearjerker. Oh, we have to be melodramatic. And so you have a really interesting first half, and then it becomes much more conventional in the second half, as far as I could tell. So yeah, it's like, oh, we have to be like this particular kind of film at the very end. This is what people want. So I totally
Yep,
feel you. Yeah.
100%
Yeah,
agree.
that's a good choice. I like that.
What about you? Oh no, no, we just yeah, top letdown. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Alrighty, I have the next thing I have is our top three. But do you want to sneak in any categories in between?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have any like interesting hot takes or other things we
Best
didn't get
best
to.
actor?
Best streamer. Did you want to talk about that?
Oh, best streamer, of course. Yeah, yeah. So for
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
best streamer, it felt a little dry this year. I had to really dig for one, but when I thought of it, it was the Hitman movie with Glenn Powell.
Mm,
I
yeah, that's
think.
probably like my third or fourth FOMO movie.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
No, I didn't see
Oh,
it.
no way. Okay. I
Yeah.
think it's a great date movie if you wanna watch it,
Okay.
yeah, let's be honest. So, great
Yeah.
great date movie. I think my highlight for it is 1, the humor, 2, the chemistry between the 2, actor and actress. I cannot for the life of me remember the actress's name. She's from Andor from Star Wars and some other movies, but their chemistry is great. Their romance is very, very well done. And for me, Glenn Powell's acting, like before I thought of him as just like, just a one note actor, like Ryan Reynolds type, like very charismatic, but that's all he has. But he really showed his range here, playing different personalities of like playing a hitman and everything like that. So I really appreciated what he was able to do. And it's a very, very loosely based true story, but the way they did it, very well done, great laughs. I would put it in like a same tier as Fall Guy, though I would put Fall
Okay.
Guy as a better movie, I would say overall, like especially with the
Yeah.
special effects and acting and everything like that. But yeah, that's my best streamer. What about you?
Quick question on Hitman. Did you like the ending? I heard people didn't like the ending, and that kind of scared me away from it. Or do you think like, don't worry about it, the ending's fine?
Yeah, don't worry about I don't think
Okay,
it's not anything
cool.
controversial, but it is not like the reason why it's loosely based on a true story is because the ending is not what happened in real life. And they kind of joke about it in the end credits as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't super sure what to pick for best streamer. I will say the best movie I saw on streaming was an Indian movie called The Goat Life, which you spoke about in a previous episode. It's a South Indian movie, a
Mhm.
Kerala a Malayalam movie where someone is like basically sold into slavery in Saudi Arabia, and the movie is about how he escapes and like all the hardships he goes through. So if you want like a good drama that just like makes you feel something, that's a great movie, and that's on Netflix. And so that's the way I saw it, and that's the way I assume most people saw it. So I'll put that as my best streaming movie. And then yeah, I'll put Hitman as like a FOMO pick, which I wasn't able to see. I looked up like Apple TV, and I didn't really see any movies. Maybe I just like yeah, there weren't any, right? Because I was
I
thinking maybe
think
they would have like a summer
remembering
movie, but um
Prime Video didn't have anything either that I remember.
yeah, I'm
So
like looking at Apple right now. I don't really see anything.
Max doesn't anymore. I feel
Yeah.
like. What was that movie that Max was gonna put on streaming, but they were convinced not to? Was it Beetlejuice? Oh, it was Beetlejuice. 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 Beetlejuice was originally supposed to be. Why am I saying Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice 2, yeah. It was actually supposed to be a streaming movie, but then Tim Burton, like someone convinced them to make it go straight to theaters, which was a very smart decision.
Wow, I did not know that. That's kind of crazy because Tim Burton's like
Yeah.
an OG. I feel like you can't disrespect an OG like that.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, to be honest. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that it was in theaters, and especially with the success, it was the right move. Um, some other movies, I guess I put on FOMO. I mean, Bad Boys Ride or Die, I guess. Oh, Inside Out 2. Did you watch Inside Out 2?
Yeah. Oh, you never got around to it.
I did, I did. No, no, no. I
Okay.
mean, did you watch it? Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Inside Out 2 is a good one. I thought about. I wasn't sure where to put it. I mean, we'll talk about top three. Hmm.
yeah. I
Now,
was thinking
now,
about
now I'm
making
like
it best
rethinking it. Should I put
animated.
it in top three? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see if we make a last minute move. It might be my
Gotcha. Yeah,
number four. Yeah.
very fluid. Oh, Alien Romulus. That was also on my FOMO list. I really wanted to watch that in theaters.
Yeah, we've talked about that in the past. I'm still mad about Prometheus, but this one got good reviews, so maybe I should just get over myself and see this movie.
Do it. All right. I mean, I guess I got all the categories that I have right now. So do you want to go into our top three?
Let's do top three.
All right.
Um, should I do all three, or should we just do one and just go back and forth?
I'm down to do back and forth. I feel like we're gonna have some overlap.
Okay,
We're
cool.
definitely gonna have some overlap. So
Okay, yeah. Um, yeah, so one we didn't mention so far, I thought Twisters did a good job of like meeting expectations. It's a Glenn Powell movie, so that's fun. I forget the actress's name, but she did a good job as well. Um, and yeah, this is like technically a sequel slash like yeah, I don't think it's a remake. I think it's supposed to be a sequel, but it feels like a remake because it's just been so long and the title is
mhm.
similar to the original movie. Um, but yeah, you're looking for like a popcorn movie. You want some action. You want a romance. You don't want it to be like too serious, but like maybe like has like some recognizable faces and a little bit of comedy and scares you a little bit. So I thought Twisters had all of that. So this isn't like quite as good as like Top Gun Maverick, but like it's kind of in the same like lineage of like strong like American summer blockbuster. It goes all the way back to Jaws. Most recently, Twisters is in it. So I'll put that in my top three.
Nice. Okay. My number three would be. I mean, we talked about Monkey Man, so I guess yeah, Monkey Man is probably my number three.
Okay, cool.
But just to because we already mentioned it, my number four, I guess I would say, would probably be. Also, that was Quiet Place Day One. You know what? Yeah, Monkey Man is on my number three for my top
Okay,
three. Yep. Number
I like that.
two. Yeah. Zach, what do
Yeah,
you got for number two?
trying to think when I make a last second change. No, I'll keep it. Deadpool and Wolverine. Just
Okay.
laughs, the gore, just seeing Hugh Jackman back in action, and the laughs make the serious moments of Hugh Jackman so rewarding. I almost wish we had more of those Hugh Jackman moments, but
Mhm.
yeah, I'll put that as number two. That's a summer blockbuster that met the hype. I like kind of like Twisters. Like I had an idea like what I wanted to be, and it totally fulfilled that.
Mhm.
Thought I had a good enough like bad guy, and the plot. Like I know people were mad about the lack of plot or whatever, but I thought it was good enough to hold together, like you said, a bunch of skits of Deadpool messing around with Wolverine. We get to see like Wolverine in the new costume that we don't usually see in the movies. So yeah, I'll put that as number two.
No, I think that's a great pick. I think these are
Yeah.
summer blockbusters at the end of the day. We're not trying
Right.
to get some Oscar bait going like, "Oh my god, how is the exact cinematography here? Who's their, director of photography?" No, it's like, what did
Right.
you enjoy the most in theaters? And I feel like Deadpool and Wolverine is such a great pick for that. Um, for me, my number two though, which I'm surprised because I feel like I know your number one, so I'm surprised it's not in your top three. Is Civil War, Alex Garland.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I just feel like I'm just holding deep this belief that it wasn't summer.
Okay.
Okay. But you know what? Let me. Okay. If I had to redo it, I would put it at number one or number two for Civil War.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, like
Yeah. Yeah.
I think well then okay, we'll talk about it in a little bit. But yeah, so Civil War for me, like the reason why is like the storyline is so great and I think you nailed it. It's like and
Yeah.
I think it's because of you it's in my one or two list or my second favorite and most likely going to be in my top 10 for the year is you prepared me because you were like, "Hey,
Right.
this is not what you're expecting." They're following war photographers, war journalists, and their journey through a civil war. It didn't like just the fact that it's in America has zero like you know they don't mention. There's nothing really about like which ideology is one side and which ideology is the other, and I really appreciated that. It's like very vague, very like you're not supposed to root for a certain team here. You're just following this journey of Kirsten Dunst Wagner Mora,
Yeah. You got
basically the person who's not, you know, the guy from Last of Us.
it.
So their performance was great. I think Kirsten Dunst might get it. I think Kirsten Dunst might get nominated for this movie. Um,
Totally.
the action scenes, like even though it's not exactly what you expect, but the action scenes were very provoking, very brutal, and shows like the exact nature of war. It's not as beautiful as people think, or it's not as like it's very savage. it's not romanticized, I would say. Like the Civil War wasn't really romanticized. They showed how bleak the atmosphere is, and only Alex and there's very few directors who can really show that bleakness in a movie, and Alex Garland is one of those directors I trust wholeheartedly to be able to do that with their cinematography. And like I like it's not really sci-fi, but that alternative history part. I always love alt history. Like I think Men in the High Castle is very similar there. So it kind of like really hit the right spots for me as like someone as like for my movie taste. So yeah, all around great performance. So yeah, do you want to cap it off with probably both of our number ones?
Yes.
Wait, I
So
don't know. I don't know though because of what you just said about Civil War. So
so no. So we'll go with the rules you mentioned. So number one is Dune 2, right?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Same here. Same here. Yeah, yeah. We are
Okay,
on
yeah.
the same page there for sure.
It came out earlier in the year, but a lot of people saw it in May, so we're going to
Mhm.
include it as a summer blockbuster.
And Box Office Mojo also included in Summer Blockbusters. So, you know,
Yeah. Mojo's the king. Like
yep,
who are
Mojo's
we to
king.
argue with Box Office Mojo?
Exactly. We're just two guys. They're a huge website. I think they're owned by Amazon now too, right?
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
IMDb bought Box Office Mojo, and then I think Amazon bought IMDb. So that's yeah.
I
I
see. Yeah,
think so.
my brother had Dune 2 just like playing in the background when I was visiting him earlier in the summer, and this is a cool movie to rewatch. You see it once in theaters, even twice in theaters. You watch it again, you'll just absorb and see new things.
Hmm.
Um, the scene I rewatched was they go back to the Harkonnen planet, and it's like the new guy who's like fighting off against the what's the name of the tribe that Timothy Chalamet's character is a part of?
So they're the Harkonnens.
Harkonnen's the bad guys, and then
Yeah,
the good
Atreides.
guys.
Atreides.
Atreides, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like fighting off against like the remaining like prisoner Atreides,
Mhm.
House of Atreides, and yeah, it's just the action's super well done. Cinematography is amazing. There's just like this really strong sense of imagination that's in this movie that you don't see in other movies. So yeah, this is like my number one definitely for summer blockbusters. Um, I was thinking if you were capping it to just like literally in the summer, maybe giving that to Quiet Place, just
Okay.
as like it was so
Nice.
surprisingly good. I'll just give it to number one for summer blockbusters. But yeah, if we're including like Civil War and Dune 2, like you gotta give that to Dune 2.
No, I appreciate the sentiment, and I think like why I really wanted to include Dune 2 in this list is because when you picture summer blockbuster, that is what I see. Like
That's a good
Dune
point.
Part
Yeah,
2
that's a
is
great
like
point.
the quintessential summer blockbuster. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's that movie you just have to see in theaters, and if you have to see in IMAX, I feel.
yeah,
And or Dolby, Dolby Digital, or what is it called? Dolby, whatever the thing is
yeah.
called. So it like the cinematography incredible, and I mean the task of Denny to like nail this is so like I give him all the credit. The scale in which he did everything, the action scenes, combining both CGI and like the practical effects and everything, the costumes, just the attention to detail he had. Timothy Chalamet's like performance, like when he goes into that, that circle thing, and he basically challenges everyone and says he's like Lisan Al Gaib, like that
Yeah,
part, like I did not expect him to act that like in that way, and like his transition from being a meager child to getting to this point was masterfully done by both Chalamet and Denny to direct him in that way. Um, like this is I think the closest thing we've had to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which which is one of a kind. But Denny's giving that a run for his money, and I really, really
wow.
do hope, yeah, I really do hope like it gets the Oscar nominations it deserves. I think this year seems kind of weak on the Oscar front, so him, the visual spectacle, the acting performances, the direction, like it should sweep all the technical awards at least, and he should get a directing nomination for at least for sure. Is me personally thinking so. Yeah, that's
No,
my
I love this.
rant.
Yeah, no, you're staking the ground. Like, give Dune 2 the Technical Awards and then also Best Directing nom. It sounds like you're asking for like a Best Acting nom. There could be like a supporting actor, actress in there somewhere too. So, yeah, no, I totally agree. And it's crazy if this movie had come out last year because that would have been like most stacked year in a long time. Good for it for coming out this year because there's not as much competition, honestly. So,
Yeah, delaying it to this year was really good. I mean, I think they might have. I don't know. Actually, I'm not a box office guru, so I'm not sure if it was better to play last year or this year. But you know what? It gave it time to breathe, and like I think for a couple of months, it was like the only movie that was really successful. Like you could go watch. I think it was for a month at least, not 2 months, but like I think all of March and part of like no, no, all of April and part of May, it was like the only movie to really go see in theaters for. So yeah, I think that caps off our top threes. Do you want to give some overall thoughts of how you felt about the summer blockbusters this year?
yeah, there were definitely some letdowns. Like, I am still a bit bitter about Furiosa not being like the best movie of the year. Um, we didn't have like maybe Twisters is like the smart mainstream Hollywood movie. Would have been cool if there's like maybe one more. Like maybe Challengers is like maybe that movie as well. Um, but yeah, I mean Dune 2 is like a big treat. That's like kind of an all timer like in the mix. So that's like fun to have that in there. But yeah, you know what? Like, I'm already looking forward to next year. Like, we have like the new, I forget his name, Bong Joon Ho, like the Parasite director. He has
Hmm.
a Robert
Hmm.
Pattinson movie coming out next year, so hopefully that's like super awesome and like a really good movie. And yeah, Wolverine versus Deadpool, I think that delivered in my opinion. So that's super cool. You mentioned Dune 2 dominated for like a month and a half. Deadpool dominated for like 2 or 3 months, I feel like. There
Yep.
wasn't
Yep.
much going on for a while. So
Kind of
yeah,
sad.
this is definitely the summer of Dune and Wolverine and Deadpool, in my opinion.
Yep. Completely agree. And yeah, for me, my thoughts are like this felt like if it wasn't for Wolverine and Deadpool, Wolverine, and Dune, this would have been a very disappointing year.
Yeah.
Like it I think they really saved the box office, like those 2 movies, and as much as we try to complain about like, "Oh, we need more original movies," we got original movies. They were very well reviewed, like Monkey Man, Fall Guy, uh, what's the other movie called? Uh, Quiet Place, Kingdom of the Planet. Oh, Kingdom of the Planet is not a original movie, I guess. Um Long Legs, I guess you can include that. Um, Civil War. All these movies that are original and well like received did not do that well in the box office. So it's kind of just like if you
Yep.
really want I remember a lot of people used to complain pre-COVID. It's like, oh my god, it's just franchise overload, franchise overload. Hey, if it wasn't for those franchises, we wouldn't like these theaters would be doing pretty bad. And you can see that now. You see a lot of movie theater closing, like the movie theater by my house, which I like grew up around, you know, my entire childhood, that shut down. I moved to another place in Long Island where I also grew up watching movies, that shut down as well. So like, we do need franchises and there needs to be a shot in the arm for the box like Hollywood to get, more movies going and successful movies at that. So Inside Out 2 also did very well, franchise right there. So yeah, as much as I enjoy, original movies, box office does need franchises.
Yeah, I think we got spoiled last year by Barbenheimer. Which I guess you could call like two original movies. Aspire to be original. I should be right. It's not based on
Hmm.
another
Hmm.
movie. It's not a sequel to another movie.
Yeah.
So I think that combo is just so good. So like we were spoiled, I think, a little bit. That's unusual. So I don't know if next year there will be a Barbenheimer again. But last year we had that and just so many other awesome movies. So um yeah, and then next episode talk about Joker. That didn't quite hit either. So there goes like the I got flamed on social media for calling it a superhero movie. I'll call it a comic book movie.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Comic book,
Hash,
graphic
hashtag social
novels,
media.
man.
Yeah, those are the replies I was getting for commenting on the Joker.
Oh, man. It's okay.
Um, yeah, yeah.
One
So that
wrong
didn't
one
quite hit
wrong word and
either.
you'll get roasted.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Well, alright. I think, like, this is a great cap to the summer blockbusters. Glad we took a little time with it. Hope you guys also enjoy this new format. If you guys do like it, let us know, and if you want us to go back to the old format, also let us know. But yeah, thank you, Zach. Zach, you wanna, round it off?
Oh, you did a great job. Thank you, Zahran. This is a good summer blockbuster episode.
Yep. Please hit the like button and subscribe button and hit the bell, I guess. I never hit the bell, by the way, personally. But, if you guys do, that would be great for us, apparently. But, we're just having fun. So, yeah. Have a great one, guys. See ya.
There you go. Cheers.